Hi everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Cricket. It's New Year's Day and we're getting ready for our traditional meal, and so I'm going to make some homemade macaroni and cheese to go along with it. So let's get started. Alright, I know you can't see this pan too well because it's on the back burner because I got my collard greens cooking right here in the front. So I'm going to add a little salt to my boiling water, and then I'm going to use elbow macaroni. And I'm adding 2 cups, and I'm not going to cook it till it's all the way tender because it will cook more in the oven. I'm just going to cook it till it's slightly underdone to the al dente stage. So we'll be back and get started on our sauce. Alright, in my pan over medium heat, I'm going to melt 1/4 cup of butter, 3 tablespoons. When that gets melted, I will add the same amount of flour, 1/4 cup. Alright, my butter's melted, so I'm going to add in my flour. Alright, once we get this blended in, we do need to let this cook for a couple of minutes. Keep stirring it because you want to get that, let the flour cook a little bit so you don't taste that pasty taste. Alright, now for right now I'm going to add 2 cups of milk, but I will probably add more. Slowly add it in as you whisk. I don't like this part of the sauce to be real thick because when you add the cheeses to it, it's going to get more thick, so make sure you whisk it real good to get out all the lumps. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 more cup of milk. So that's 3 cups of milk total. Now the salt and pepper is to your taste. Don't add too much salt right now until your sauce gets done, because the other ingredients we're going to be adding is kind of salty. So right now I'm just going to add a little bit of salt, but a lot of black pepper. Now on my dried parsley flakes, add about a teaspoon. On my paprika, I'm adding a half teaspoon. And my Louisiana hot sauce, really this is to taste, but I will be adding a teaspoon. And I will also be adding a teaspoon of Worcestershire. I can't say that right. And continue to whisk. And my noodles got done. I might have done set it, and I've just got them draining over in the sink. Okay, once this reaches a boil, we will let it simmer for just a few seconds. See how thick it's going to get, because that's when you can tell once it reaches a boil. This actually looks pretty good, but I am going to add just a little bit more milk. About a half cup. Now while this is simmering, I always like to add a couple of slices of sandwich cheese, and this is Kraft American cheese. And you want to use a good name brand because cheap brands don't melt. Just let that set for a second, let that melt. Alright, that's melted in. I'm going to take it off the heat, move to another counter, and add in the rest of the cheese. So I'll be right back. Alright, I've removed it from the heat. Whisking it one more time real good, and I'm going to add my shredded cheese. I'm using mild cheddar cheese. You can use sharp if you want to. That was 1 cup. Now let me get my other cup. This is my 2nd cup of cheddar cheese. So right here I have in my 1 cup measure a 1/2 cup of the mild shredded cheese, cheddar cheese, and then a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. You can leave out the Parmesan cheese if you want to. So that's 2.5 cups of cheddar cheese total and a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. Alright, I've poured my cheese sauce into a larger bowl. I'm going to add my 2 cups of noodles. They're going to be kind of stuck together because they've been sitting there. Mix it in real good. I have a 13 by 9 inch casserole dish that I have buttered. I'm going to place my macaroni and cheese in it. I know my arm's all in the way. Now I'm going to top it with some breadcrumbs that I made. I just took 3 pieces of bread and put it in my food processor. But you can use store-bought breadcrumbs. And I may not use all 3 pieces of bread that I made. Just want to cover the top. See, I had that much left over. And now I'm going to add some bacon bits. Real bacon bits, not imitation. But if you want to even fry up some bacon, that would be better. I just don't have time today. And I'm going to put just a handful over the top. A few tablespoons. Now I'm going to bake this in a preheated 375 degree oven, and I'll let you know how long it takes, and we'll be back. My macaroni and cheese is done. I just took it out of the oven. You can see it's still real bubbly, and my breadcrumbs have toasted just a little bit, but that's what you want to look for when it's nice and bubbly and your breadcrumbs get a little toasted. But mine stayed in there for almost 25 minutes. So you want to start checking it around 15-20 minutes to see. But it's nice and bubbly, and it's going to be real good. And when my other food gets done, I'll show you everything that we're eating for New Year's. Here is our New Year's Day meal. Been cooking all day. Well, we have our leftover vegetable platter from last night and my lemonade cheesecake. We have our ham, our collard greens, of course the macaroni and cheese, my garlic parmesan mashed potatoes, and our black-eyed peas. And I hope you all have a very wonderful, happy New Year. Say hey.
And then I put me some hot sauce in there.
For money.
And she said, when you do all that, it makes me feel like it's not good and you're having to add stuff. I said, you can ask Uncle Richard about him getting
the black-eyed peas.
Mad every single meal, no matter how good it was. I had to get up and get one kind
love.
At least.
Kelsey said it's for love. Richard, do you know what the black-eyed peas represent?
Change.
Change.
And that's the
bills, the dollars.
So let me tell you.
I'm just a bill.
I bought my dry black-eyed peas, and when I was looking them and sorting them, there was one dry pinto bean in with the bunch. So I cooked it in there.
Bobby Eel. You don't eat
So whoever finds the pinto bean is lucky.
yeah, it's good, Bubba.
It's so good.
What?
Grandma found it.
I did, but now it's
It hits the spot so well.
That's garlic parmesan.
Is the video over?